Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Some of you recently noticed that I have not been including wax in my empties videos, and you are entirely correct. I don't really know what prompted it, but all of a sudden I just started to compile my wax in a separate little bucket, and now I have quite a bit of it to share. So I figured I would go ahead and do it in its own video, just because I know there are some people who could care less about wax usage and don't really care for it in my regular trash talks. So I thought I would give this format a go. So let's go ahead and start with the actual candles that I have used. So I was at a recent TJ Maxx, and I came across this big kahuna from DW Home, which is called Best Mom. It's a rose scent, my friends. Oh yeah. And I have to say, I really have stopped purchasing DW candles, mostly because it's really hard to find 3-wicks. And in my experience, the performance of their 2-wicks, their single wicks, it's just not strong enough. I don't get enough scent throw off of them. But I figured because I was so jazzed for this scent and it was a 2-wick in a really large format, perhaps it would be a good candle to give a try. It also retailed for $15, which does feel a little hefty. They weren't always this expensive when I first got into them. So I went ahead and gave it a whirl, and it was decent. I wouldn't say it was a knockout, oh my gosh, so much scent, how will I live my life? But I did enjoy it, and it lasted a very long time, as you would think, because it is so huge. I have really only in our new house been burning candles at our stove is where I've had them in our kitchen. The rest of the house, I either have a wax melter or I haven't figured out a good place to put a candle or a wax melter, so I just don't have anything in that space. So I had it there for about I'd say a week and a half, and then it was gone. With Ben and I working from home, Ben all the time and me half the time, we were able to get through this relatively fast because it was on for quite some time. Next candle that I have is from Glade. It's the Fall Night Long limited edition, notes of crisp fall air and smoldering woods. So we were at the grocery store, and these sort of caught my eye. And listen, I'm not gonna lie to you, Glade candles, one, are very sooty, and two, they don't last super long. And this was I don't know, $5 or $6, and I would like them to go for a little bit longer based on the $5 or $6 price tag, but whatever. I picked this up because it smelled a lot like Marshmallow Fireside. Sadly, it ended up when it was lit and burning just smelling like a pine tree, but you guys know I love pine trees. So it really wasn't that upsetting when I realized that it wasn't truly a fireside candle, but I'm just happy that it burned all the way down on its own. If I recall, the last time I had a Glade candle, it dudded out, it just didn't burn very well at all. So this, despite being a black sooty burner, did go the whole time, and so I at least felt like I didn't totally waste my money. I did also pick up a candy cane version, which smells really good, but I haven't allowed myself to burn that puppy yet. My final candle is from Walmart. It is the Mainstays Cedar and Fig Highly Fragranced Wild Fig Oak Moss Blue Cedar 3-wick candle. I mean, let's be looking at this here. I was immediately pulled into this when I was walking in the Walmart wax aisle, and I thought, ooh, hi Bath & Body Works, you look great at that shelf for $5, like you should retail for all the time. And I smelled this one. It was lovely. I mean, it definitely competes with Bath & Body Works in the sense of the performance. It was very equal. I'd say once we got to about this point, it started to get a little bit duddy and take a while for it to create a wax pool and give really strong scent. But when I first had it going, it was lovely. I really like the scent of this. It definitely doesn't deter me from purchasing more 3-wicks. The one thing I will say is why I didn't purchase more at the time was that the scents all seemed kind of generic and nothing that I really wanted to shell out the dollars for except for this one. So I feel like if I came across other scents that I'd like in the future, I would make a purchase. Is it going to replace Bath & Body Works candles? No, but are they comparable? Yes. All right, let's move into wax melts. I've got 3 scent shots. The first one that I have is from Candles by Victoria. It's the Juicy Couture scent shot. This was lovely. I don't actually know if Juicy Couture smells like this. I don't think I've ever had that perfume. But this was just a really nice, florally scent. I got scent off of this almost immediately. I cut these in halves, and that is how I melt them. I think it was one of my better performing Candle by Victoria scent shots, so very pleased with this one. I also have 2 from Fat Wax. I have Pumpkin Crunch Cake Buttercream Crunch. This was decent. It basically Just smelled like a pumpkin bakery scent shot, nothing like super unique and different. I did toss these in halves at first, but have since realized it's just like a full, put the full cube in there kind of thing to be able to get sufficient scent profile throw that I like. I also got the Fruit Loops birthday cake marshmallow fluff. I purchased from them a like Fruit Loops sampler, and I don't know if this is true of all of these types of like thematic centralized oil type of collection. What I mean by that is that this Fruit Loops sampler had an undercurrent of Fruit Loops in every single scent. And sadly, when I melted this, although it was supposed to be birthday cake and marshmallow fluff with Fruit Loops, all I got was Fruit Loops. I didn't get any of those other scents. Maybe that's because this is like vanilla, and vanilla is not a super like strong competing scent, but it just didn't hang. And so now I'm afraid that the rest of them that I have are just gonna smell like Fruit Loops. So I haven't been super thrilled with melting them because I'm just not in the mood for Fruit Loop scents at this point. Final non-bagged wax that I have is this one from Fortune Cookie Soap. It's the Don't Eat the Candy Wax Tarts. So this came in my Hansel and Gretel Halloween box, and it had these really adorable, different sized like gummy bear wax tarts encased in here. I really like the idea of that because I'm gonna be honest, I don't like scoopable wax. I don't wanna have to use a spoon. I just like the ability to pull it out of a bag or break it and throw it in, or in this case, procure a piece of wax and toss it in. I will say though that this wax was a little bit different from other wax I've had from Fortune Cookie Soap. I wasn't super in love with the scent, so that probably didn't help things, but I felt like the cubes didn't give me a ton of scent throw. The texture of the wax was very different than other wax that I've had from them. I'm not sure it's because it is soy and coconut wax, if that made a difference, but it just didn't hang around very long, and the scent itself wasn't super strong. So wasn't a big fan of these, but I'm happy that they're at least used up. Okay, we're gonna move into my bags of wax that I've used up, and I've organized them by the company that I've used it from. So the first ones that I have are from She Loves Cake, no longer in business, but I have a few from my Tim Burton box and my Harry Potter box. So the first one that I have is Serious Black, which was apple pie, caramel, home churned vanilla ice cream. Next one I had was Dr. Julia Hoffman from Dark Shadows, which is orange ice cream shake with bits of candy corn teeth. And the last one that I have is Sandy Claus, which is caramel cupcakes covered with chopped up fresh apple slices. The reason I tell this to you all at once is because these basically all smelled the same. I kind of am finding that a lot of the scent notes, when they're melted down, just sort of all read the same way. They give off the same sort of like yummy bakery scent, but they're not super unique. I am happy that I am using these up because they are from 2018 and she's no longer in business. So there's no point in me hanging on to these because I can't repurchase the wax even if I really, really loved it. But I have to say, although these have quite a bit of wax in them and it does take about a week for me to melt an entire bag, I have yet to come across really unique and different scents compared to a lot of other like mainstream wax that I have in my collection. Okay, I've got a bunch of like one-off brands that I have used up. So I have from the Glitterati Candle Company Bite Me Earl Grey Tea. I wanted this to be better. It smells nice in the baggie, but I feel like the tea sort of got lost and wasn't really that unique of a scent. Like I just wasn't in love with it once I actually melted it. So I'm glad it's gone, but I don't know, not a scent that I was really into. Then I have the CFTKR. I have no idea who that is. These are caramel praline flapjacks. These were awesome. I loved the scent of it. The pancake note, that like maple buttery pancake note was so, like it resonated so well. My only complaint was that this basically had really, really strong scent for like 4 to 6 hours and then it just died. So it's one didn't last me very long. I had broken it into fourths and I ended up kind of using halves instead. And I still went through it in just like a couple of days. Next one I have is Mulled Cider from Up North Creations. It was fine. Like I just don't really care for the longevity of this wax company. I feel like their scents are good, but they're just either not very powerful or not very long lasting, and that was the case with this. Next up, I've got Mrs. Bug's Buttermilk Drop Biscuits from L3. This is from 2016. This thing is super old, but I gotta tell you, delicious. These smelled so good, and it was really strong scent performer. I was expecting nothing, and I got so much more. Again, I don't know who this company is, if they even still exist, but this was top notch. Then I've got Front Porch Candles Pumpkin Sugar Donut Bear Claws. Very yummy. This really just came across as a pumpkin bakery scent. It wasn't like, oh my God, those are bear claws and it's so yummy and delicious, but it lasted a really long time. The scent throw, very strong. It hung on for like 6 to 10 hours. Very, very much enjoyed this, and I broke it into two halves, and it was just lovely. I have the Savvy Scents Cranberry, Pearberry, and Champagne. Nope. This, I just felt like the scent was like generic soap, and I didn't really care for it. Fortunately, I didn't hang on very long, so it wasn't even a great performer. Then I have the Savannah Blue Scented Wax Melts Enjoy the Show. I don't know what that is, but I didn't enjoy this. This also had like a baby perfume soap note to it. Not great, didn't enjoy it, wouldn't rebuy it. Then from SMT, it's Sugar Cookies Pie Crust. Yeah, this was a really nice bakery scent. Yeah, it was very leaning on the like sugar, like the sugar cookie kind of dough is the scent that I mostly got from this. Very nice, enjoyed it, but again, I don't know who that company is. From Waxmosphere, I have the 9 Ladies Dancing, which is fruity and effervescent pomegranate, vanilla champagne, and wild cherries. I don't think I love this. I feel like the pomegranate, I don't think I'm a big pomegranate person. I just didn't enjoy the scent of it. It didn't last super intensely. I mean, it's from 2017, so I don't know if I can fully blame it for the fact that it's so old, but it wasn't my favorite scent. Then from Nancy's Wax Creations, I have Pumpkin Cedar. This was basically scentless. It just didn't do it for me. I don't know. I feel like much like Up North Creations, Nancy's Wax Creations, I like the scents on Cole, but they just don't have good enough performance for me. Rocket's Rainbow B-Day Cake, very yummy. Nice birthday cake scent. Yeah, and the wax was super cute. It had like layers of pastel, so it looked like a pastel rainbow. Very nicely done. Definitely enjoyed this. From, this is the Polar Express Tinsel. No idea where this came from. I also had no idea what it was gonna smell like until I pulled it out, because it was tied with like a bread twist tie, and I didn't feel like untwisting it to open it up. I really like the scent of this. I don't know how to describe it, but it was enjoyable. This is from 2016. Like, I've really been trying to pull out older wax and use it up before I dip into my like winter wax. I wanted to really use up my older fall stuff, so I'm happy that I made a dent on it. I've got 2 from my Super Tarts 2018 Advent Calendar. I had Frosted Christmas Cookies Orange Apple Cider and Brown Sugar Cream Cheese Frosted Spiced Pie. Similarly to what I'm experiencing with She Loves Cake, I feel like the Super Tarts that I have from this Advent Calendar were so jammed with different scents, but when you melt them, they kind of all just smell the same. They perform beautifully. You get such a strong scent throw from them, and they last a really long time. Like, you don't need much wax to really fill a room, but I just don't feel like the scents end up being that unique from each other. At least in this Advent Calendar, they were not that unique from each other, because they just, at the end of the day, have the same like core scent to them, but they don't differentiate that well when they're melted down. And then the final one that I have, I just am decluttering it. I do not like it. It's from Rainbow Melts. It's Jolly Sorbet. It's cranberry, strawberry, and lemon sorbet. I don't know. Oh God, I melted this down and it just has like a plastic synthetic-y scent to it. I just really don't like it. I feel like the lemon and the cranberry don't do very well together. I just feel like they are scents that don't jive, and I don't jive with them, so it's gotta go. All right, guys, that was a ton of wax. I am really happy with my progress. I'm so glad that I have stayed away from purchasing candles, because it has really kept me focused on my wax and has helped me really make a huge dent. If I keep going like this, I will definitely be able to deplete a good bit of my entire collection, which it was way overdue for me to complete that. I really hope that you enjoyed hearing my thoughts on this particular round of wax, and I will talk to you in my next video real soon.